Guys, in this video we will learn about how to read task from Firebase database. As you can see, I have added that task in progress. So we will be doing this task in this video. First of all, let's go to the Firebase database. We already have that node exist in our Firebase database. As you can see, multiple entries already entered. So that's happened during testing. Let's go to the coding section. So first of all, I created a fragment which is called task listing fragment. In that fragment I have one recycle view, one material button and one progress bar. The recycle view will load that task which we will get from the Firebase database, and the material button will refer to the bottom sheet where we can add a new task, and the progress bar will shows like the transaction is happening in the background. Now coming to the task listing fragment. In the task listing fragment, like we have nothing new, just view model assigns by task view model, and we have auth view model which we will use it to get the session for the user ID. Then we are using binding and also using adapter with lazy, and also one function as a lambda passing to the task listing adapter. So on create view we are initializing binding, then on view created we have a button at task. Inside the listener it's showing that bottom sheet which we created. I will show you the bottom sheet later after explaining this fragment. Then we have task listing layout manager set as linear layout manager, and we are setting adapter. Now there as I am getting session with the help of user with the help of auth view model. So from there I am getting that user object. Now coming back to the task listing fragment, if I go to there get task, we are passing the user object, initially passing the loading state, then we are getting task from the repository. If I go to the repository implementation, in the implementation if you see we already getting the database object and reference child task. So that is the node which under this node we will have the multiple childs. So order by child we are getting for with the help of user ID. So we get those tasks which including user ID as a the login user equal to user ID. Now we will get, and on success listener we will get the children, and we are using for each loop to get each item to convert that into the task model class, and then we adding that to the list of tasks. And in the results we are invoking the success test state and passing the list of tasks. If it's a failure case, then we are simply passing the exception message. Now coming back to the task listing fragment, in the observer here we are showing the progress bar and hiding on the failure start, and then on success we are hiding the progress bar and also updating the adapter class. So if I go there, we are notifying dataset change. So as soon as we get the list from the Firebase database, we set that to the adapter, it will refresh the whole recycle view. Now if I coming back to the task layout, like for the list view we have one text view and one delete button. So if I get back to that task listing adapter, we are setting that description, and also the delete function is also invoking as well. So that is pretty much regarding to the task listing fragment and task listing adapter. Now we will check the create task bottom sheet. To see that, I go there task create task fragment, and that fragment is extended from bottom sheet dialog. If I go there XML layout, we will have one text box and close button and also done. So in the text box we will write some text which will up to 255 characters, and if I click on the done, it will call the create function inside the view model, then will trigger the create task in the repository. So in this way we will store that info on the Firebase database. If I go to the create task fragment, from there if I click on the done button, I am checking validation first if any text is exist or not. If it's not, then I shows the error message. If it's exists, then is valid, return true. If it's true, then in the view model we just calling add task and also passing the task object. Now if I go to the add task, and there we are triggering add task in the repository, and if I go to the implementation, in the implementation we have database reference child, and if you remember, task is a node which will have all the children related to the task. Now push function will give us for the new entry reference, like from the reference we will get the id, and that id we will store in the task.id. now reference.set value, and we are setting the task object we will pass, which passed from the fragment. Now we are attaching to listener, add on success listener and add on failure listener. In the success listener we are just passing a message like task has been created successfully. If it's on failure listener, then we are simply passing the error message. If I go back to the create task, we have the observer there. It's add task.observer. In the loading state, it simply shows the progress bar, and in the failure case, we hide and show the error message. In the success case, we hide and show the toast message, and they're also dismissing the bottom sheet as well. Now it's come to the live demo. If I go to the task section, it will check the task is exist for the not. If it exists, it will shows like this. If I want to add a new task, let's suppose test 2 task. If I click on the done, it will trigger add task, and you can get the success message. So currently I'm not getting like the new task there is a bug, so we need to figure out like how to fix that. If I close the application and reopen it, then we will see the 2 tasks, because we just recently created a new task as well. Here we are now getting all the tasks related to that user. Now as we found the bug as the task created, the list is not refreshing. From there we have create task on, let me check what's the function name. It's privated and close function. So that is a variable which keeping the lambda function, and we will just pass as a lambda parameter from the fragment, and it will hold that. And with the help of this function we will assign our own function, and it's triggering on dismiss. So whenever the bottom sheet dismisses, we will get that function as a callback. So set on dismiss listener, so there it will trigger whenever it dismiss. So what I will do is I will simply copy and paste it there. But there is one thing more, we will need to check if that data is actually created successfully or not. In that case we need to trigger the new list to get new data. So what I will do is I will simply add bundle as a parameter. In there we will also add bundle. Now from there I guess we need to have one parameter. We will check is success add task. Initially it will false, then we will see in the success true. So I will say is instead of having bundle, let's just change that to boolean, and I will change from there as well. Now we will simply pass as success add task. Now going to the task listing fragment, from there we will check if that is successfully added, it will return true, otherwise false. Now I will rerun the application to see if that bug is still there or it's resolved. Now our application is running. I will simply open that application. Now go to the task. Now if I click on the add task, fix on dismiss bug. If I click on the done, see, now you can check the latest task created. So that is pretty much regarding this video. We will see in the next video about deleting the task or updating the task.